looking gorgeous today. So my name is Erin. I make natural hair content.
That's where the kinks comes from.
And sometimes like to mix it up a little bit.
That's where the drinks come from.
And right now it's spooky season. I'm doing Vlogoween. And this movie just came out on Hulu. It's called Bad Hair. And this horror satire set in 1989. Bad Hair follows an ambitious young black woman, who gets a weave in order to succeed in the image-obsessed world of music television. However, her flourishing career comes at a great cost when she realizes that her new hair may have a mind of its own. A mind of its own. Girl, if my hair attacked me, I mean, we'd be beefing anyway, so I don't know. So this movie has people like Usher, Vanessa Williams, Kelly Rowland. So honestly, I'm about to watch this real quick and then give my honest review. Right now, I feel like this has the potential to trigger me. It's supposed to be a horror movie, so it might be a little scary. It might be a little funny, but I just hope that everything is portrayed correctly. I do not want to feel triggered in any type of way. And yeah, I'm gonna try my best not to give any spoilers to this movie. I don't plan to give any spoilers, but it's about 1 hour and 43 minutes, about 2 hours long. So I'm gonna watch it and I'll be right back to give my thoughts.
Viewer discretion advised.
So let's get this out the way.
I did not like the movie.
So there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers at all, but there's just a lot to unpack, and I did not like the movie. And I was really trying hard to like it too. So firstly, the movie is about 2 hours long. It's way too long, and everything's gonna be bunched up together the last 20 minutes of the movie, which made it seem longer than it actually is. It's a horror comedy, so the horror part, you know, I'm a scaredy cat, okay? I can't deal with things. There's only like 2 jump scares that really got me, so the horror part wasn't too bad. In terms of comedy, I was cracking up at the last few minutes of the movie. So that was the only part that I found really funny. Everything else wasn't that funny, but the last few minutes were actually funny. Lena Waithe, who played Brooklyn, that's what really brought the comedy. That's what really made this funny. I really hope that I'm pronouncing that right. And I had to keep in mind that it said 1989. That's when this was taking place. So, you know, times is a little different, so I had to keep that in mind. What really made me upset about the movie was I wasn't quite sure on the message. The beginning of the movie was pretty cool. Like, I was getting the premise of it, and then the middle of the movie was when it completely lost me. I was like, what is actually happening? I really do not understand. It's not necessarily scary, and I would recommend if you're 18 or older to watch it.
I don't think anyone who's too young should be watching this movie.
Viewer discretion advised.
Towards the last bit of the movie, they were trying to like reiterate the message they were trying to show in the beginning of the movie, but it completely lost me by that point. I just didn't fully understand the message, and I didn't understand the intended audience. I'm pretty sure the intended audience is black people. With movies like this, I would expect for a black person for it to be relatable, and for a white person it to be somewhat educational, and it was neither. If you watch the trailer, then you understand that a young black woman has this ambition to be famous, and in the workforce her natural hair is holding her back, and she gets a weave and the weave attacks. I wasn't sure if we were like focusing on how in the professional workforce natural hair is deemed unkept and messy. I don't know if we're focusing on getting a sew-in is bad. I don't know exactly what message this was implying. And in terms of being relatable, like, I've never had a sew-in before, and I've never like got a relaxer or a perm before. I've heard stories on my channel. I've talked about my natural hair journey, but I didn't really touch base on what it was like to have straight hair the majority of my life before I became natural. If you guys want to have a video on that, I can tell you some like stories, you know, being in a salon, hearing about the gossip, being there for hours at a time, and things like that, and how expensive it can be. And the idea of as soon as she gets this sew-in, she just feels like a completely different person. She doesn't recognize what she sees in the mirror. I wouldn't necessarily say that our personalities change, but as black women, when we get our hair done, we feel like a whole new person. But not in a negative way at all. Like, some of us get colored hair, some of us get straight hair, some of us get curly hair. Like a wig, sew-in, weave, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't change us, but it boosts confidence. It makes us feel good about ourselves. And I wouldn't necessarily view that as a bad thing, or our hair is taking over type of thing. And I understood the ending, but I did have to look it up anyway, just to really make sure that I actually grasped it, because I still don't clearly understand the message that was being portrayed in this movie. And what kind of upset me is there's this slave folktale inside the movie, and I thought that would be like the educational part of it. I thought like this folktale was based on fact, and I looked into it and I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, okay, was this folktale completely made up? That makes me even more upset. And I did a little bit of research. I like to do research, you know, college student. I like to look into things, and I think that the director's message was to say that we necessarily don't need weave anymore. I could be wrong, but based on the few articles that I read, that's what it sounded like, especially now with the Crown Act being established. And for those of you who don't know, the Crown Act basically prohibits discrimination against hairstyles, hair textures, hair typing, and mainly the professional workforce, and even in schools and things like that. And the movie talked about European beauty standards just a little bit. I really wish that Kelly Rowland had a bigger role to play in this. I really wish that she had more to say. And the movie really made me think about like how far we've come. Like, we are starting to embrace our natural hair more, understand, like, I remember growing up, wigs were deemed as something that an older person would wear, and now you can buy cheap Amazon wigs in any color, any style that you want, and it'll be so cute. I remember weave being known as something that people with no hair would get. They'll always be patting their head and just be deemed as ghetto. And now it's not as frowned upon to get it sewn. Like, I really want my channel to show how I do my natural hair and to be inspiration to others, and also mix it up a little bit. That's where the drinks comes from, because I do other videos, but I really want, because natural hair is a really big part of my channel. This movie just reminded me of how far we've come, and it makes me a little bit happy to know that the next generation, like when I have kids and the people around my age has kids, we know how to take care of their hair better. We know not to just instantly get a relaxer. We know that we can do a twist out, we can do wash and go, we can do braid out, we can do box braids, we can do anything that doesn't really damage their hair. And even though we come a long way, it's still, we still got some steps to take. I still go to job interviews. Like, my name is Erin, so it's pretty a basic name, and all they know is the application. But as soon as I walk in, I got the afro, the business attire on, they're like, oh, you're Erin, okay. And like, I notice it. I see the stares when you walk down the street, and they look at your hair like, oh, it's so big. Either they think it's so big and it's beautiful, or it's so big and unkept. But one thing that I really liked about the movie that they had in the beginning that I really wish they would have kept throughout is the sound effects. Like, you can hear the parting of the hair, the brushing of the hair, like the sound effects was really intense, and they didn't keep that throughout the movie. And also, when she does get this sewn, she is quote unquote tender-headed and she doesn't say anything. And this is just a reminder, if you are going to a hair salon and someone is braiding your hair too tight, say something. If something is burning, something is itching, they're pulling your hair too tight, they using a tiny little rat tail comb, they're not using a wide tooth comb or detangling brush, please say something. Do not sit there in pain. Like, the amount of pain that we will go through for beauty is kind of crazy. So just say something. Nobody can take better care of your hair than you can. Nobody can take better care of your hair than you can. So if you go to a salon and you know that you detangle your hair this type of way, just mention it to the person doing your hair, like, hey, I know you about to take this rat tail comb to my scalp, but let me just tell you real quick, I like to make sure it's got some moisture in it before you start combing it, okay? I like to use a bigger comb than this. Jeez. Speak up. I'm not sure if I'm rambling, but the only thing I did not like about the movie is that it was kind of long. I didn't quite understand the message that it was trying to share. And some of the scenes were very like, what is happening? I don't understand what's happening. The things that I did like about the movie, all the actors, actresses did a beautiful job. I love that. I love the comedy, even though it wasn't a lot of it. I did like the comedy towards the end. And I did like the beginning. The beginning kept me really engaged. Towards the middle it stopped, but the beginning kept me engaged enough. I just have a lot of thoughts swirling in my head. Would I recommend this to somebody? I don't know. If you so happen to think about, do I really want to watch this movie? If blood makes you queasy, don't watch the movie. I also like the cultural aspects of it. Like, I know in different cultures, like, they don't cut their hair. They do their hair with positive intentions. They only let certain people do their hair, like certain family members do their hair and things like that. I really wish they would have added more of that into the movie. I don't know. I expect to either learn something or get a deep message. I guess I expected a little too much. If you've seen the movie, please comment down below your thoughts. I just want to have a conversation with somebody about this. I really hope I did not give too many spoilers. I really hope I did not confuse anyone. This movie was decent. If I would have rated out of 5 stars, I'll give you like a 2.5, maybe even a 3. But yeah, this is the end of this video, or else I'm gonna start rambling. So give it a thumbs up, a like, comment down below, subscribe, be nice to your hair, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.
to the pumpkin king now.